The buzz this week was all about the World Series of Poker's announcement of this summer's schedule with some major changes for 2012. Before the schedule was officially posted, the WSOP released some teaser tweets, including this one saying, "A few hints on WSOP schedule coming tomorrow. You won't find the November 9 returning." As it turns out, they didn't mean that the format had been scrapped, but that actually the dates of the delayed final table had been moved to late October. Card Player TV caught up with World Series Tournament Director Jack Effell to learn more.
If everyone wasn't sure, this year is an election year. So, of course, in November, the highlights around every major television station will be around who's going to be the next president. And, of course, so we moved the November 9 back into the late October dates, October 28th and then October 30th, in which we'll highlight the WSOP main event, as it always is every single year, here at the Rio in the Penn and Teller Theater. So we're real excited about it coming back. It's been a very big success over the last few years, and we're going to continue that success with this year's October final table.
Another big change this year has to do with the main event, which has had its running length trimmed by 3 days.
In the last few years, we've had sort of, space constraints. Even with 375 tables last year, there's always that scare that everybody will show up on the last day and we wouldn't be able to accommodate them. Now, even though we do try to push players into, the first 2 or 3 days, it's still tough and you still never know who's going to show up on that last day. So this year, we've actually increased our table capacity to 470 tables, which is more than we've ever had, well over 125,000 square feet of gaming space, which is unbelievable. There's never been a live tournament ever held in this type of venue ever any time in history. So we're real excited about that. So with that, you don't really need 4 days to play the main event. 2 would be kind of tight because obviously you could have 5,000 guys show up on one day, but we think 3 is the right number. So there'll be 3 starting days over a Saturday, Sunday, and Monday to play 1A, 1B, and 1C. And then on day 2A and 2B, we're actually going to play them on the same day but in different rooms. And so what's going to happen there is that they're going to each play down in separate rooms, and then 2C is going to play by themselves on the next day, and then we're going to combine the field the next day for day 3 and then play 5 levels out until we reach the final table. And what this does is it cuts off 3 days from the entire duration of the main event. So we go from 13 days down to 10 days, and now players will be able to come out to WSOP who may not have been able to come out in the past just because 2 weeks is such a long time to play one tournament, that now they will come out.
The 2012 WSOP will feature a total of 61 bracelet events, including a number of brand new tournaments. Effel gave us the scoop on these new events.
There are a few events that we should highlight and talk about that I think the players are really going to love this year. Number 1, the Mixed Max Tournament. Now this event was great in Europe. We played it 9-handed day 1, 6-handed on day 2, and then we played a 16-man bracket with a random draw in Europe. Well, here we're going to play a 32-man bracket. We're going to seed the players from highest to lowest chip stacks, and then the bracket's going to play down from there. So we're real excited about this event. We think it's going to be a big draw. It's going to happen early in the schedule, so don't miss that one. Next up, we have the $3,000 buy-in, heads up, half no limit hold'em, half pot limit Omaha event. It's going to be maxed out at 512 players. We think this is going to be a real exciting mix of 2 of the most popular forms of poker, and we think it's going to get worldwide praise, and we think it's going to be around for a really long time. A lot of action, no limit hold'em, pot limit Omaha. You're going to have some great players in that field. Don't miss that one. Next up on the roster, we have ante-only no limit hold'em. Now this is a game that grew online. It kind of spread out into some other major events across the country and across the world, and we've kind of come up with our own kind of derivative of ante-only. We do not play with blinds in this event. You will actually ante every hand, and the person to the left of the button will have a bring-in, which will be the minimum denomination on the table. Now, this event is real exciting. We had a kind of a teaser event at Caesar's Palace had 200 players. We gave away a ring during our circuit event last month, and turnout was great, had a lot of praise, and all the players were asking for it. So we're going to have a $1,500 version of that at the WSOP for a WSOP Gold bracelet, so don't miss that one. Next up, a lot of people are playing short-handed poker these days. They love the 6-max no limit hold'em. A lot of people love to play heads up. And 4-max, it's the new up-and-coming short-handed play. We're seeing a lot of that sprout out across the world. And so this year, for the first time, we're going to have a $2,500 buy-in, 4-max no limit hold'em. It'll be the only event going that day, and it's going to be a great one. And for the big boys, we have the $1 million big one for one drop. Now this is a very special event to us, and one drop provides water to less privileged countries around the world. And so with every buy-in for the one drop, 11.1% of the buy-in will go towards this charity. We're looking to raise $5 million and in the process award the biggest first place ever in a poker tournament. We've already got 30 guys confirmed to play in the $1 million event, only 18 spots left. So we're real excited about the one drop. It's a great cause. It's going to be a great event. It's going to be televised on ESPN. Don't miss it. And if you don't have the $1 million to pony up today, don't worry about it. There'll be plenty of satellites running a week prior to the event, from $200 buy-ins to $1,500 buy-ins to a big $25,000 mega that will take place on June 30th, the day before the one drop event starts, which is going to run July 1st through the 3rd.
As always, the World Series caters to more than just the high rollers. Effel gave us some info on offerings for the average player at this year's WSOP.
And so for the everyday player who may not be able to afford to come out to the WSOP, play in a big bracelet event, don't worry about it. We have satellites from $65 all the way to $6,000, all the way to over $100,000 for the one drop. There are satellites running every day, 24 hours a day, for those of you that want to win your way into one of the bracelet events. If a satellite's not what you're after, there's plenty of small buy-in tournaments for the everyday player with large prize pools. Last year, our deep stack offerings were very successful. The 2 o'clock event had well over 1,000 players. We put nearly 2,000 players in between the 2 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 10 o'clock offerings. They're back this year, better than ever. 2 p.m. 235, 6 p.m. 185, and 10 p.m. 135. These events are going to be big. The prize pools are going to be big for a small investment, and we have plenty of room to accommodate everyone that wants to play these. So come on out, play a deep stack tournament, and if tournament's not your cup of tea, don't worry about it. Go to a cash game. We're going to have everything from 1-3 no limit hold'em to the sky's the limit. So if it's a cash game you're looking for, if it's a satellite, if it's a small one-day tournament, that's all you have time for, or if you just want to come down and check out the action, walk around and catch your favorite player in the hallway and get an autograph, you can do that too. Come on out to the 43rd Annual World Series of Poker here at the Rio All-Suite Hotel and Casino in beautiful Las Vegas, Nevada.
Thanks for tuning in to this edition of the Poker Buzz. For more info on the 2012 schedule, check out the tournament tab right here on cardplayer.com.